Right. So not everyone will appreciate what you do. Right. Some people will sing your praises openly but criticize you in secret. Some people will even belittle what you do for them. Some people will later even criticize you for what you do for them. So when you keep all of these things in mind, you fortify yourself. You know that, oh, you're not doing it for the people per se. You're doing it for God's sake, and you're doing it for your own sake, because you know you will reap what you sow. You know you are sowing seeds of greatness, and this will come back to you in multiplied form. That is something you need to keep living by. That the fact that people don't appreciate what you do for them does not mean you should stop doing good to others. It does not mean you should stop. It does not mean you should quit. Some will even misunderstand your intentions. Some will outrightly do you wrong. So you just need to know that these things are bound to happen as you set out to do good, and you don't, because of that, stop doing good, because doing good to others is actually doing good to yourself, because you are sowing good seeds into your life, into your future. And as long as you sow good seeds, the harvest will come your way. Good returns, good investments that you sow will always yield good returns. And in the same way, when people fail to do that, they don't know how they can limit themselves. So in other words, some doors, as important as hard work is, for example, some doors will not open just because you are working hard. Some doors will not open just because maybe you are praying hard or you are even lobbying. No, just keep doing good and you'll be amazed at the kind of opportunities, at the kind of blessings, at the kind of doors that will open to you by doing good. And of course, you are working in integrity. That is very important. As you're doing good, you're working in integrity. When you do that, because you are guided by the uprightness of your heart, the integrity, the purity of your intentions, that's very important. Once that is in place, you know that great things will result will result from your act of liberality, and of course you will be great in life. So that is that about act of kindness, that it's one of the easiest, one of the cheapest ways to live a remarkable life, to live a life of impact, to live a life of meaning. You can imagine a young person going to study, and he didn't have the money, he didn't have the means, and he just approached somebody, and the person just said, you know what, and the young person said, you know what, I can struggle on my own, but my mom, my parents are elderly. Can you please take care of my parents? And when I finish my education, I'll begin to work and I will repay you. And the person said, oh, you have a noble cause, you have a good heart, you're doing it for your parents. So don't worry, I'll take care of your parents while you go and study. And then the young person went ahead to study, and then they got a good job. And then they returned later in life to say, oh, I want to repay you for what you did for taking care of my parents. And the person said, you know what? You don't need to repay me. You also go and do it for somebody else. Look for a young person in need, and just what you would have paid me, repay them. Now imagine if they also do that, and then it keeps going on like that. That is what we are talking about. Do you think they will ever forget that individual? That is what I'm talking about. That act, doing good, being committed to acts of kindness, act of liberality, is one of the cheapest ways to live a life of meaning and impact. That is absolutely essential. Now, I want to talk about another point. I said there are 9 of them that I want to talk about. I've talked about 7 now. The next one is the importance of patience and perseverance. The importance of patience and perseverance. The importance of patience and perseverance. Now, or another way you can put it is, don't quit, don't give up. You have this desire, you are working hard, you're working smart, you are thinking positive. See, a time will come that it will look like it's better to give up. A time will come that it will be like, why are you even trying to be different? What is your problem? There are times that some things may feel overwhelming, and you may not even want to continue, particularly in the days of little beginning, so to speak, in the days of maybe just trying to find your feet in a particular industry or a particular sector. Maybe he's looking for a job, and you send in so many applications and you just get rejections upon rejections and upon rejections. It can be frustrating, it can be tiring. Or you want to launch out, you want to start a business, and then you fail the first time. You fail. I read about somebody that wanted to start a particular line of business, and each time they submitted their proposal, they got rejection. And they got rejection about 12 times. I think it was the 13th time before it was approved for them. But they didn't give up. I think the problem with many people is that they give up too easily. Many of us, after trying for a while, we just say, you know what, this is good enough. You don't want to stretch yourself. After a few no's here and there, after a few closed doors here and there, you just say, no, 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 I'll just do something else. No, no, that's not how to live. That's not how to see your heart desire fulfilled. There is nobody that has achieved anything remarkable in life that did not face obstacles, significant hurdles. It may be with maybe existing way of doing things that they are trying to change. It may be this obstacle maybe from people around them, people that love them, their family members, for example, their friends, their loved ones. It may be something that has to do with a new field they are trying to break into. It may even be just a desire that you have that you want to achieve, something that you are pursuing, right? A goal that you have in mind. Everybody in life, at one point in time or the other, they have faced significant obstacles. The people that are successful today are people that did not give up in the face of failure or challenges yesterday. I take that again. The people that are successful today are people that did not give up in the face of failure, in the face of disappointment, in the face of discouragement, in the face of negativity yesterday. So what that means also is the people that will be successful tomorrow are people that do not give up today in the face of challenges, in the face of difficulties, in the face of negative situations, in the face of disappointment, in the face of multiple rejections. You just keep at it. You don't just stop. You don't stop. Now, based on that, I think if you follow football, if you follow some sport, for example, have you seen instances where a particular team has tried maybe to achieve a particular goal and they keep failing over and over, and eventually maybe in a particular tournament, if you are familiar with football, for example, a team maybe they reach a final and then they are defeated. It doesn't mean that they should quit and say, oh, because of that we won't do anything again. They come back next year and then they keep coming and they keep coming. Why? Because somehow if you don't give up, you will eventually succeed. That is just it. Because each failure, each disappointment is meant to teach you a lesson. It's telling you that there is still something that is not exactly as it's supposed to be. It may not necessarily be with your person. It may be with your approach. It may be something that does not have to do with you. But every lesson, every disappointment, every failure, every moment that maybe seem like a failure has happened is teaching you a lesson. It's telling you there is something that is not yet as it should be. So what happens most times is if people don't learn this lesson, they may just keep doing the same thing and after a while they give up. Or some people just quit outrightly without actually paying attention to what may be missing. That every disappointment is teaching you a lesson. Every failure is telling you there is something you are still not getting. Once you get that, there is no way you will not succeed. There is no way the result will not be different. So based on that, I say, if you don't give up, you will eventually get lucky, quote and unquote. And so people say, oh, there is luck. Sometimes, yes, no doubt about that. If you're a Christian, you believe in favor and things like that. But what I'm saying is, so if it happens the first time, you say, oh, you're not lucky. Second time, somehow, if you keep at it, even if you are so sure that, oh, the difference or the differentiating factor is this luck, you will eventually get lucky, quote and unquote. If you don't give up, if you don't quit, you will eventually have that heart desire. You will eventually get that result, that victory that you're looking for, that heart desire, that job, that breakthrough. But it does mean that each time you see that disappointment, each time you see that failure, you stop, you analyze, you re-strategize, and you go again, and you go again, and you go again, and you just keep going, you keep at it. That if you don't give up, you will eventually achieve that result, that success. So there is no one that you will see today that is successful today that did not fail at one point in time or the other in the past, that did not experience maybe a major setback, perhaps a major disappointment. And that's why it is said that the ultimate test of people is not how they fare in the face of prosperity, when everything is good, when everything is great, in the face of success, in the face of victory or achievement. Most of the time, it is actually how people fare in the face of adversity, in the face of challenges. So when you do that, you are setting, when you understand that and you position yourself accordingly, you are setting up yourself for greatness, for a remarkable and fruitful and impactful life. So that is that about patience and perseverance. You keep doing it. You keep persevering. You keep putting in the hard work. You keep putting in the effort. You keep burning the midnight oil. That when it doesn't look as if the results are forthcoming, when it doesn't look as if your effort is producing anything, you don't give up. You don't externalize the causes of your failure, of your disappointment. And that's why we've talked about the importance of attitude before. You don't blame, you don't criticize, you don't quit and things like that. It is very important that you have a good attitude as you keep going again, as you keep knocking again. So in the Bible it says to knock and the door shall be open. So that means you knock the first time and the door is not open. Knock again, go again, seek again, apply again, make that call again, reach out to those individuals again, and before you know it, the result will eventually come your way, or you eventually see somebody that will be willing to give you that opportunity that you're looking for, or that initial acceptance that you're looking for, and that may make all the difference for you in life. That is the number 8 factor. And the last one, before I wrap up for this month, and of course for this series, is the importance of gratitude. That is, be grateful. Be grateful. Be grateful. Be appreciative. Now, there are two angles to this when I talk about gratitude in this context. The first one is to be grateful for every little blessing, for every positive change, for every result that you see, for every change of level, for even adversity that you overcome. Be grateful, right? Be grateful that, oh, you're looking for a particular amount and you cannot get it. Be grateful, right? You're looking to achieve something and somehow you did not achieve it. Be grateful that you see something close to it, not exactly what you're looking for. So on a more practical level, maybe you're looking for a dream job, a big job, maybe in a bank or in oil and gas or in a particular sector. That is your dream job, and you put in so much effort. You attend interviews upon interviews upon interviews upon interviews, and somehow you just could not get that job. And maybe along the way, you got something that is less than that. Be grateful for it. Be grateful that at least you have something, even though it's not what you would have wanted or what you set out to achieve. At least it is a step in the right direction. That is what I mean by being grateful for every little progress that you see. Or you set out, you start a business, and maybe you are expecting that the business will just do great, will just blossom, will just prosper. And in the first year, maybe you even borrow to start the business. And at the end of the first year, for example, probably you could only repay half of the loan that you took. Still thank God that at least you have some measure of progress. You have some kind of results. Now, that is important because to a large extent, Thanksgiving is a matter of perspective. It's the same thing with quitting, with murmuring, with complaining. It's a matter of perspective. That's why I talk about the importance of right attitude first. So in the Bible, if you're familiar with the story in John 6, they were to feed multitudes, and they had little, just a lunch pack for a young boy. And then one of the disciples said, "What are these?" But what did Jesus do? He thanked, he said, "Bring them to me." And then he gave thanks. Now, what that means is, if what you're looking for, if what you have is less than what you're looking for, still be grateful, still acknowledge it, and be grateful for it. If what you have is less than what you are looking for, still acknowledge it and be grateful. Why? Because if you are not grateful, even what you have will be useless to you, because you will not see the potential in that thing that you have. You will not see the potential in that job. So if you go back to that example, it's not your dream job, it's not ideal job, but you have it. So what do you do? Now, if you begin to downplay it, if you begin to say, what is it? Is it not this job? What's the potential there? You won't be able to see how maybe you can do that job so well, and somebody can notice you and just give you maybe a recommendation that will lead you to that job that you're looking for, right? Or maybe somebody has disappointed you, and in spite of that, let me not go into that disappointment yet, because that's the second angle to Thanksgiving. I'm just saying, be thankful for every little change, every positive result that you see. Now, the second dimension of it is, even for negative things, even for adversities, even for things that did not work out to your advantage. And this should not be difficult if you consider what I said earlier on about every failure or every disappointment actually showing you something, teaching you a lesson, or showing you an angle that you're not considering before. So this is something that we even say casually, that every disappointment is a blessing. But at that point of disappointment, it may not look like a blessing at all. In fact, it doesn't look like a blessing at all. At that point of disappointment, you may feel like the whole world is collapsing on your shoulder. At that point of disappointment, it may look like, oh, what is this nonsense? I should just quit. I should just give up. I should not even bother myself. What am I doing? What am I living for? And all sorts of things like that. No, you do need to understand that even though it's a disappointment, you cannot see the blessing yet. The blessing will come when you begin to embrace this disappointment and have a good attitude in spite of the disappointment. So that's very important. That's why I've talked about the importance of attitude before now. That when you are faced with disappointment, when you are faced with negativity, when you are faced with outright failure or rejection, you don't come up with some attitude, some negative attitudes, and then you begin to maybe blame people, or you begin to castigate others. No, you say thank God. In spite of it, you are still grateful. You are still able to put things in perspective. So, for example, you're looking for a job, and then you put in so much into interviewing for the job, and you get a rejection letter or rejection email. You are still saying, Father, thank you that at least I have a good certificate, qualified for, or I even got to the stage of interview, right? If you are invited for interview. So that is one way to think about it. That, oh, you even got to the stage of interview. Lord, I thank you. Greater things can come your way. Greater opportunities can come your way. I remember there was a time I was applying for jobs. I just applied for jobs. I just apply for several of them. I applied to several universities. I just didn't get any. In fact, some will not even get back to you. And after a while, I began to get interviews. So my first interview, of course, it was not successful. But I was just like, oh, at least I've moved away from getting rejections to being invited for interviews. See what I mean by perspective in that regard. And of course, I still kept applying. First failed interview, second failed interview, eventually third failed interview, and then I got the fourth one, I think. Now, the point here is, after I got the fourth one, I now went back. I discovered that all the previous ones could not compare to the fourth one that I eventually got. That's what I mean by. But if I had gotten any of the previous any of the previous three, I wouldn't have even gotten or even applied for the fourth one. That is what I mean by seeing the blessing in the disappointment when you have a correct perspective, a correct attitude, and when you are grateful. When you are grateful, that Thanksgiving is a matter of perspective. Gratitude is a matter of perspective. So maybe you invested so much and eventually the business crumbled. At least you are still alive. At least maybe you still have some savings that you can maybe take from to maybe restart again, or maybe you can even go and work somewhere else and still make some money, right? Or that, oh, you're like, oh, I still have opportunity. I've learned that these are the things that does not work, and then you start again, you pick the lesson that you have learned and you start again. So that is the importance of Thanksgiving, of being grateful, that Thanksgiving is a matter of perspective. And when I talk about Thanksgiving, I always say that first of all, it's Thanksgiving to God. Thanksgiving to God. God is the source of life. God is the basis. God is the one that gave everybody the breath in their nostrils. So even the people that don't acknowledge Him and all that. So Thanksgiving is principally, primarily to God. You are grateful for every little thing that you see, every little blessing, because even little things can make big difference. If you hurt just one finger, it can affect your whole body, it can affect your well-being, generally speaking. So thanksgiving to God first, because God is the source of life. God is the fountain of life. And so don't just say, yeah, I'm grateful. You are grateful to who? You are grateful to God. God is the owner of your life. So thanksgiving to God, because without life, every other thing is meaningless for a start. So you're grateful to God, but also thanksgiving to people, or thanksgiving for people, for the blessing of people around you. Being grateful to people that God has positioned around you. Why? Because a man can receive nothing except he's given from above, right? So thanksgiving for relationships, for strategic relationships. Maybe the results that you see in your life can be traced to maybe somebody that helped you, somebody that gave you the initial opportunity. So be thankful to them, right? Acknowledge them. Don't just say, after I have the qualification. What if they didn't give you that initial opening, initial opportunity? What they didn't give you that advice? What if they didn't give you that recommendation letter? What if they didn't give you, they were not willing to quote and unquote gamble on you, give you that initial opening? So just be grateful to people. Be grateful to someone, to people that have helped you along the way. Be grateful to people that opened their doors to you, that gave you advice, that gave you maybe useful tips, that maybe that were there for you in challenging times. And this thing about gratitude also means that don't forget the good things that people do for you. As you go up in life, you come up with different people at different points in time. Don't forget the good that people do to you. Don't repay evil. Don't repay good with evil, right? So earlier on we talked about people repaying you evil with your good, but also being ungrateful to people for the help that you receive from them is essentially repaying them with evil for the good they do to you, right? That's why if people have done you good before, even if they mess up or even if they disappoint along the way, let the good that they have done, let it remain with you. Let it remain with you. Let that be the basis for relating with them going forward. It is very important. Don't downplay what people do to you or do for you. Don't downplay the help that you receive, the support of people. Don't downplay the significant investment of other people into you. Maybe you got a scholarship through a university. Think about how you can repay or give back to the university, or how you can help somebody, as simple as that. So that is the importance of gratitude, the importance of appreciation. So you are appreciating God, but you also appreciate people. You appreciate people that help you, from little things to big things to great things, from things about your everyday life to things that have to do with your life, to things that have to do with your destiny. The importance of gratitude. And why is gratitude important? Because gratitude opens great doors. It opens great doors that you can say that, oh, I did just a little for this person, and they are so appreciative. You want to do more for them, ordinarily speaking. When you see maybe someone that, oh, they are always appreciative, maybe you have given them a used cloth, for example, and they appreciate you, they keep appreciating you, like, oh, maybe you want to do more for them. I can even give them a brand new clothes. That's what I mean. Or somebody introduce you to somebody, and then you, from through that connection, you experience a big breakthrough, a big maybe financial blessing, or a big a significant milestone in your life and in your career. And don't come back to later and say, after all, it was because I put in the hard work as well. Yeah, you put in the hard work, but what if you didn't have the platform, the initial platform, the initial opportunity? So that is how an ungrateful person will think. Ingratitude make people to think in terms of what they deserve, right? And gratitude makes people to think in terms of what they receive, the help they receive. the lines that fall to them in favorable places, in the opportunities that come their way. For example, there are opportunities that come your way just by virtue of where you are living, or where you were born, who your parents are. So be grateful, be thankful for that. Or if some challenges happen to you because of your parents as well, still be thankful, because that will toughen you up in life. If you, maybe for example, if some of us were not born where we were born, maybe we will not even be the way we are. Maybe we will not be exposed, we will not be forced, quote unquote, to grow up this way we have grown up, to embrace life this way we have embraced life. So even if your parents abandon you, be grateful that at least that exposed you to some maybe tough principles, tough lessons in life that made you to be tough early in life, and that helped you to be successful, or that's the basis for your success afterwards in life. So it's a matter of perspective. You are grateful to God, you are grateful to people around you, your boss, all right, your parents, your spouse, your children, your colleagues, your subordinates. Ingratitude is just a way of life, and it's a way to greatness. Ingratitude is a way of life, and it's a way to greatness. So when you begin to practice this, there is no way you will live an ordinary life. There is no way greater doors, greater opportunities will not come your way. And that is what I'm talking about with regards to what I've shared with us so far. That opportunities come to all, but not all maximize this opportunity. That how can you begin to maximize the opportunities that come your way, that will make sure that you live a remarkable life, a life of meaning, and a life of impact. I said the first one is to understand that there is a process of greatness. There's a process. It doesn't happen by chance. It doesn't happen by accident. Nobody just becomes great by chance. Even if you are born to a rich family, you are born to a successful family and things like that, it doesn't mean you don't have to do anything, that everything will just happen for you. No, that's why so many children from influential families have ruined everything. It's not just accidental, right? So there are things you need to do, that there is a process, that you need to pay attention to your drive, to your desires, to these inner nudges that you have as a person. You need to keep thinking strategically. You are not just casual. When things happen, you are thinking about the future. You are not just preoccupied with the present. You are thinking about what is not obvious to several people around you. You get rid of fear. You are acting with confidence. You are taking some steps that, ordinarily speaking, people like, oh, what are you doing? But because you are paying attention to what is inside of you, you are taking bold steps, courageous steps. You are working smart. You have and maintain a positive attitude. You don't criticize. That is very important. You don't blame. You live your life. You are not preoccupied. You are not disturbed by what some people are doing or what somebody else around you is doing. And you are giving to act of kindness, act of generosity. You are not just boxed up in your own world. You are not just thinking about yourself. That's why I say many of the problems that people have today, many of the issues that people are, is because they are preoccupied with themselves. Right? Nobody, if you are depressed, if you are cast down, just think about helping somebody, for example. Just go and help somebody, and when you come back, you see how you feel different. I mean, as simple as that. When you help others to win, you don't lose yourself as well. When you help others to win, you do not lose. So you are giving to acts of generosity. That great doors can be opened through acts of generosity, and you keep working hard. You keep persevering. You don't give up. You don't quit. You are patient. You understand that there is a process, and you are following through the process, and you are grateful for every little step, every little improvement, every positive result that you see, and for the disappointment, the negativity, that things may not exactly look the way you want. You may receive negative report, but you keep things in perspective, and you are grateful. When you do that, there is no way you will live an ordinary life. There is no way you will not live a life of meaning and impact. That would be a convenient point for us to draw the curtain for this month of November 2023. And of course, this is the last session, the last edition for the year 2023. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now, if you do have questions about what I've shared this month, or if you want to go back and listen to all the other ones and see how all of these things connect together, please feel free to do that. And also share it with others, share it with your friends, share it with your loved ones, share it with as many people as you know that will be inspired by it. And of course, they will be the wiser for it, and then their lives will be better, and the whole world will be better for it as well. And of course, if you do have questions about getting your walk with God right, for example, if you want me to maybe be of help to you or want to support you in your journey to know the Lord, to be a child of God and things like that. If you drop me a question or if you drop me a comment, you drop me, you send an email to me. I meant to say, if you send me an email, the email address is in the description box. If you send me an email, I'll be happy to get in touch with you and also answer any question that you may have. Thank you for tuning in, and our next meeting will be in the new year, the year 2024. Thank you, and God bless you. Bye bye.